Three, two, one. And considering we are on Twitch this year, or this episode, I'm going to really, really hope we're live.
And you are live.
Cool. Sweet. What's up, everybody? This is episode 16 of Broken Controllers. We are talking a lot about gears today, also talking about, oh gosh, I forgot what I put in the video description. Anyway, got a lot of ground to cover here. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Irish1620. What's up, man?
What up, everybody?
And honestly, we should just go right into it here. Irish, what are you playing this week?
I'm back at it with some more Destiny 2. There's a lot to go over right now in prep of their upcoming event, or not event, but, well, I mean, we got Iron Banner coming up next week, so that's an upcoming event that's definitely big, but the upcoming expansion, it's, what, November release, I do believe? Shadowbringer?
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's the one that's all about the darkness, right? Using the darkness or whatever.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be incorporating new, like, special moves and things of that nature with that, as well as, you know, we've spoke about during the E3 discussion, the cross-save features supported by all, like, pretty much all platforms, including Stadia, the new upcoming console.
We got some news about them. Um, oh, sheesh. All right, test, test. Am I echoing? Hello?
I
Oh,
don't
there's
hear
an
any
ad.
echo.
There's an ad on our video. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, supported by Twitch.
Supported by Twitch. I just want to make sure that I'm not echoing real quick, because that would suck. We were echoing on YouTube.
I
Yeah,
know.
the audio is a little bit better on Twitch, I've noticed.
Yeah, well, and
Cool.
you can broadcast out at higher rates on Twitch. With Twitch, they support 1080 at 60
Oh,
FPS. YouTube is a maximum of 30 FPS.
I'm gonna change this then. I'm gonna change some stuff around for next week. All right, so give me some information on Shadowbringer, because again, I don't follow Destiny recently. All I know is that going into Destiny 3, they're going to be talking a lot about the darkness and how that works in conjunction with the Destiny universe. So what exactly is it about? Is it an introduction to Destiny 3, essentially?
Pretty much. I mean,
So,
it's they still are trying to hold off on doing a D3 release, but essentially that's what this is.
okay, so
I mean, but we
introduction to Destiny 3 or expanding the Destiny 2 universe.
I'd say
Did I
expanding.
lose it? Oh, okay. I was like, did I lose you? Oh no.
No, no,
Expanding. Okay.
yeah. I'm trying to figure
Okay.
out what our malfunction is here. For some reason, this is playing just fine. But that is not. I don't know. Let me try loading in here.
Technical difficulties. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
New platform. So.
Yeah, for some reason it's like just stuck stupid trying to load.
Stuck stupid. I like that.
Alright, reload, refresh. Try again from the top. There we go. Try again from the top. There we go. Now we're good. It's
Now
rolling. Now we're good. It's rolling.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was just like
Yeah,
stuck trying to load on. Yeah, it was just
Sorry
like
about
Twitch
that.
page
Trying to
for some
load
reason
on-
and wouldn't
on
your Twitch page for some reason.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Oh,
gotta fix that.
sheesh.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So
I'm
why
like,
don't you go
"Ah,
right back
fix that."
over what you're playing again?
All right,
and
cool. So why don't you go right back over what
Yeah,
you're playing again?
pretty much.
and then we'll
So
just-
moving forward with this whole Shadowbringer
pretty much,
thing.
so
Moving forward with this whole
I'm
Shadowbringer
not really
thing,
too
100%.
I'm not really
the full
too
details on it. I
100%
know
on
some
the
basic
full details on it. I
information
know
on it. You know,
some basic
more general public knowledge of it. More general public knowledge. But I'd have to say, yes, it's going to be an expansion of the universe's story. Whether it's actually gearing up for leading into D3, or if they are wanting to expand again beyond this, I'm not sure. I know that there was talk that they were wanting to hold off on going and making D3 because so many people raged at the fact that they went from D1 to D2 so soon. When there was talk that D1 was supposed to be a 10-year game. A couple years into D1, we're already moving over to D2, so a couple years into D1, we're already moving over to D2, so
Right. Well, I think they were. I mean,
I'm just gonna say it. I think a lot of
I might get a lot of hate for this, but I'm just gonna say it. I think a lot of the hate that Destiny got too got for
a lot of that hate
saying it was going to be a 10-year game or whatever. Like a lot of that hate was unwarranted, and the reason being is because like a lot of that, granted, like it was just a couple of years, and then they moved into
a lot of what they were meaning,
Destiny
the series itself
2,
was going to be
but a lot of what they were meaning, was the series itself was going to be a Destiny or a 10-year.
Bungie is pushing a product. They're going to push the best product
Bungie is pushing
now that
a product.
Activision is out the door, they got a reason to release another game.
The best product that they can push. And now that Activision is out the door, they got a reason to release another game. You know what I mean? Especially because they got to prove themselves. Now that Activision's gone and they've separated from that, they've got a story to prove to themselves.
Because to be entirely honest, they fell into Halo.
They can do this and they can make a good game because to be entirely honest, they fell into Halo after Marathon Man was made. And Marathon Man wasn't
so a lot of that was now that Activision is out the door, let's make the best game that we can.
So a lot of that was now that Activision is out the door, let's make the best game that we can, and then we'll push that product. So I think that a lot of the hate that they've gotten now surrounding
the code is still there. The algorithms, the 10-year long algorithms they were the algorithm is the 10-year backbone of Destiny. They're still there.
It's
still running.
I mean, it's not
the backbone of Destiny.
It's not like they've
still running.
I mean, it's not like
they failed miserably.
I feel like it's not like they failed miserably in their game.
They fixed
you know what I mean? Like
Bungie was very tongue-in-cheek about it at first, but then they straightened up their act.
They fixed it. Bungie was very tongue-in-cheek about it at first, but then they straightened up their act and they were like, okay, we're gonna fix this.
That's what makes a good game.
And I mean, games as a service. That's what makes a good game. I mean, give credit where credit's due.
So, what else you playing this week?
So, what else you playing this week?
Pretty much the same last week. Pretty much just the Destiny 2 last week. I helped wife play a little bit of some Spyro. Helped wife play a little bit of some Spyro.
How's that going?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
how's that going?
This
the
second time through. Already pretty much beat it out once. With the second time through, deleted it all. Already running back through doing a second run.
How much is that?
Deleted it all, and running back through doing a second run. I want to say it's like 30,
how much is that, dude?
$40. Maybe on sale for even cheaper right now. $40.
Yeah,
all the deals they got maybe on sale for even cheaper right now. All the deals they got
I got
going
Super
on.
Mario Maker, and I haven't touched that in about a week.
I was gonna get a capacitor stylus.
I was gonna get a capacitor stylus,
but I was just like, I'm not. No.
They're like $40, and I was just like, I'm not.
So much.
No.
I guess let's go into what I played this week.
I guess let's go into what I played this week.
Through and through.
I played a lot this week. I'm trying to play more video games. Through and through. I guess I'll just start from the top and start with Kingdom Hearts 2.
On Critical.
Now,
I've talked about this.
I played some Kingdom Hearts 2 on Critical.
I was hoping this really wouldn't happen because I love this game and I love.
I was hoping this really wouldn't happen because I love this game and I love progressing this game. I was hoping this really would not happen.
It's a big one.
But I hit a wall.
I can't beat the rest of the organization members.
It's a big one.
I'm having a hard time with.
I can't beat the rest of the organization members.
Roxas, Demix.
I'm having a hard time with. Let's see if I can name them. Roxas, Demix,
Zemnis,
Lexius,
Zalden, and
Zemnis,
Those are the 6
Zalden,
that I'm having an issue with.
and Sykes.
So
Those are the 6 that I'm having an issue with.
obviously, I haven't. Excuse me.
Obviously, I
haven't tried to fight Lingering Will yet.
Obviously, I haven't tried to
not really a precursor
fight Lingering
to
Will
fighting
yet
him,
because kind of
my own.
not really a precursor to fighting him, but my own
kind of want to beat the organization
precursor kind of deal.
And on
you kind of want to beat the organization before you move on to Lingering Will. And on critical, this is just, I mean, you gotta play damn near perfect to beat the remaining
so
organization.
it's been a pretty long road, pretty big challenge.
So it's been a pretty long road, pretty big challenge.
Fights have been shared
I'm gonna
on
keep
my
plugging
Facebook.
away at it.
I'm gonna start sharing them out
The
to broken
boss
controllers
fights
on
have been
Facebook.
shared on
So if
my
you guys are
Facebook.
interested in
I'm
seeing
gonna
what
start
I'm
sharing them
having
out
to
to broken
endure,
controllers on Facebook.
go ahead
So
and
if you guys
follow,
are interested
Broken
in
Controllers
seeing
on
what I'm
Facebook, just
having
search
to
Broken
endure,
Controllers.
go ahead and follow Broken Controllers on Facebook. Just search Broken
It's
Controllers.
been a hell of a
Come
fight.
right up there.
I'm not enjoying
But
it.
it's been
Like,
a hell of a fight.
I want to be
I'm
done with
not
it. At this
enjoying
point,
it
it's a test of
anymore.
will. You know what I mean? Like,
I want to be done with it.
get
At
through
this
it,
point, it's a
done
test
with
of
it,
will. You know
move
what I
on to the
mean?
first
Like,
one, get done with that, and then move on.
get through it, done with it, move on to the
Done
first
with
one, get done with that, and then move on to the
moving
done
on.
with the series.
I streamed some Borderlands 2. I did what you
Moving
did,
on,
and I put out kind of a poll, and I was like, hey,
I
what do you
streamed
guys
some
want to see?
Borderlands 2.
I'm gonna
I
try
did
and
what you
include
did,
one
and I put
retro
out kind of
title
a
in
poll,
each
and I
of
was like, hey,
those
what do you guys want to see?
polls.
I'm gonna
This
try
week
and
it was
include
Metroid
one
Prime.
retro
Actually, I
title
got a
in
couple
each of
votes
those
for that, so I was actually
polls.
surprised on that.
This week it was Metroid Prime. Actually, I got a couple votes for
Mortal
that, so I
Kombat
was
11,
actually surprised on that.
2,
I
Kingdom Hearts
had
2,
Mortal Kombat
and
11,
Metroid Prime.
Borderlands 2,
Borderlands 2 won
Kingdom
out
Hearts
with, like, I think it
2,
was like
and Metroid Prime.
67%, so I streamed some
Borderlands 2 won out
on,
with, like, I think it was like 67%, so I streamed some Borderlands 2 on,
Mixer.
was it Mixer? I think it was Mixer, yeah.
Not
I
much to
streamed
say
some
there. I
Borderlands
mean,
2
it's
on
Borderlands
Mixer.
2, it's Gearbox. I have
Not
not
much to say
touched
there.
the
I
new
mean, it's
DLC.
Borderlands 2, it's
Have you played
Gearbox.
that?
I have not touched the
I
new
have
DLC. Have you played that
Okay.
yet?
I've heard good things.
I have
I
not.
haven't touched it.
Okay. I've heard good things.
I'm interested to
I haven't
see
touched it.
how they lead into Borderlands 3 because
I'm
it's been
interested to
years,
see
and the DLC that they dropped
how
for
they
number
lead into
2,
Borderlands 3
leading
because
into
it's been
Borderlands 3
years,
also
and
has that
the DLC that they
and
dropped for
Telltale
number
stuff to
2
work off of.
leading into Borderlands 3 also has
I'm
that
gonna have to go
pre-sequel
look up the
and
videos
Telltale
for
stuff to
Telltale,
work off of.
because I'm not gonna play that game.
I'm gonna have to go look up the videos
It's not that
for
it's a bad
Telltale,
game. It's just I
because
don't like
I'm not
visual
gonna play that
novels.
game.
You know what I mean?
It's not that it's a
so I'm gonna
bad
have
game.
to
It's
look
just
up
I
some
don't like
videos for
visual
that.
novels. You know what I mean?
And
Right.
And
watch,
so I'm gonna have to look up
that,
some
so that
videos for that
apparently it leads into
and watch you know
hinges
that
a
so
lot
that
on
it apparently it
Borderlands
leads into
Borderlands 3 coming out as well. So
it hinges a lot on Borderlands pre-sequel Borderlands 3 coming out as well. So
some videos that need to be watched. For
I
sure.
mean, there's gonna be some
So I played a
some
little bit of
videos that
that.
need to be watched,
I had
for
some
sure.
fun there. It was about a 45-minute
So I played a little bit of that.
Borderlands
I had
2
some fun there.
is fun,
It was
but
about a
it is
45-minute
old, so
stream.
I don't have as much fun
Borderlands
with it as I
2
used to.
is fun, but
Not
it
to say
is
that old
old,
games
so
are bad, it's
I
just
don't have as much fun with it as I used
played
to.
that game.
Not to say that old games are bad. It's just
I ran that game.
I played that game.
I've beaten that game probably 30 times. So
I ran
it's
that
not
game
as-
into the ground.
Yeah, it's not. As
I've beaten
much
that
fun
game
as
probably 30
it's,
times. So it's not as it's not as much fun to me as
I hopped over on
as it used to be.
pre-sequel for a
So,
little bit. I forgot how
I
annoying
hopped
the
over
stupid
on
oxygen mechanic
pre-sequel
is.
for a little bit.
They need
I forgot how annoying
they
the
better
stupid
not put that
oxygen
in number
mechanic
3.
is. They
like
they
look,
better not put that in number 3.
you have planets
Like,
out there that have
look,
atmospheres. You can hinge on those.
You have planets out
your
there
environments
that have
don't put a
atmospheres. You
stupid
can hinge on
oxygen
those.
meter in number 3.
Your environments.
I don't want that. That's not
Don't
what
put
I
a
want.
stupid oxygen meter in number 3. I don't want that. That's not what I want. No Borderlands.
The game itself was fun. I mean,
Um,
the shooting feels good.
the game itself was
the
fun.
moving feels
I
good.
mean, The shooting feels good. The moving feels good. It feels like a modern Borderlands game. It was released a couple years ago, a few years ago. Back in
2014 or 2015.
2015, I
it's a good
believe.
game.
2014 or 2015.
Not as good as number 2.
I mean, it's a good game.
And I even go as far as to say it's
not as good as number 2. And I even go as far to say it's not as good as number 1.
You know what I mean? It was the.
Because
It was.
number 1 was the gem.
It was the one
you know what I mean? It was the. It was
Nice, you got 4 viewers right now.
It was the one that brought Borderlands to fame.
You do.
Nice,
you got 4 viewers right now. I got fuck all right now myself. You do.
Oh wow.
I got fuck but you got 4 now myself.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was going to. But you got 4. I was going to look up mine.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was going to.
Shout out to chat.
Gears 5 tech test.
I was going to look
Hope
up
you guys
mine.
are enjoying the stream.
Yes.
I got some more to
Actually,
talk
I guess
about.
that's what
Gears
I'm
5
going
tech
to.
test.
The Gears 5 tech test. So if you guys are interested.
Actually, I guess that's what
Gears
I'll go
5
into is the Gears 5 tech test. So if you guys are interested, Gears
weekend
5
they're
this
running a
weekend
tech
they're
test.
running a tech test.
If you have Xbox
Live Gold and you
Game
have
Pass,
Game Pass, you can go and download Gears 5 for free, the tech test, and just play it.
I've played that game a lot.
Played that game a lot.
I got a lot of notes here.
I got a lot of notes here about it. In fact,
now, it's important to remember.
There's some
with
high
Gears,
expectations. There's some high expectations.
Did you play any of the Gears series?
Did you play any of the Gears series, Irish?
Yeah. All the way up until 4. I don't think I played 4. I don't think I played 4.
Okay. Well,
4. Okay.
4 was where they kind of made things different.
4 was where they kind of made things different. In the whole idea of 4 is no spoilers. We're not gonna but the whole idea of 4 is
you're a runaway from the cog.
You're a runaway from the cog.
It's called the Swarm.
Actually,
we don't really know a lot.
It's called the Swarm.
We don't know if it's
Actually, we don't really know a lot about the enemy. We don't know if it's a new enemy or if it's what the Locust used to be before the Emulsion was around and all that. There's a lot of theories around that. But basically, there's a new enemy, and this new enemy reveals itself.
More or less with the cog to.
You have to work with the cog. More or less with the cog to.
You don't make a lot of
take down this new enemy.
Like, I'm just gonna say
you don't make a lot of progress. Like,
but at the end of 4, there's this kind of cliffhanger.
You don't make a lot of progress. But at the end of 4, there's this kind of cliffhanger. I'm not gonna ruin it. There's this kind of cliffhanger.
Basically, leading into 5, there's a lot of
basically leading into 5, there's a lot of
Gears
questions.
5,
so Gears 5
and the tech test is multiplayer. So
is continuing that, and the tech test is multiplayer. So immediately when you jump into this tech test, they put you through this like course that teaches you how to aim, how to fire, basically what a team deathmatch is, how to cover, how to fall, all that stuff. So they put you through this whole thing, and then they throw you into versus. They say, okay, now you can go play the game. There's 3 game modes from what I can tell. There's Team Deathmatch, which is a social playlist. I don't know how Team Deathmatch isn't ranked. That's a mistake. They need to fix that. That right off the bat, I'm going to tell you right now, I understand in the other Gears games, Team Deathmatch, leading into 3, Team Deathmatch wasn't ranked playlist, and I don't even know if they had it in number 2. I believe they did, but I'm not sure I'm not quite sure. They need to make that a ranked playlist, though. That's something that'll bring people in, you know what I mean? The other 2 playlists that they have available to you are Escalation, which is controlling a zone. It's like oh gosh, what's the name of it? I can't remember the name of it, but it's like territories in Halo 5. So you stay in a radius or in a diameter for a certain amount of time. That time runs out, you capture that point, you move on. You know what I mean? And then there's 3 points to capture. Basically, if you control 2, you're scoring. They have a certain score to win. The other one is execution, which is each of you guys only has one life, and that's it. That's it. So those aren't my favorite to play. I've been playing a lot of team deathmatch. The notes that I have here. So these are just notes. I mean, you can decide if each point is good or bad on your own accord. It was just some stuff that I wrote down. So this is just basically the facts of it. So the Gears 5 tech test, failure. So keep in mind this is a tech test. Essentially, it's a beta. You know, if you're familiar with betas, you know that they have problems. But I did get a failure to join 3 times before it finally let me play. Yeah. Finally, the 4th time it let me in. I got to play. It was like, it took like 3 times too, like 3 tries too, because like, I tried to join, it said failure to join. I tried again, it said failure to join again, and then I tried again, it's like network error. And I was like, what the hell? So I backed out, and then I went back into it, and then it connected, and it let me get into a match. So, it was pretty irritating. Once I got into the match, the game was really fun. Something that I have here is plays mechanically like Gears 4, but gameplay is different. So when I say that, I mean it looks and feels like Gears 4. If you played Gears 4, the main difference is there's loadouts, and the game modes are formatted differently. So in Team Deathmatch, you would have a counter, right? You'd have a counter. Each team would have a counter of 25, and that counter for each death on that team would count down, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this Gears, you have a counter. You have your 2 score meters, and then you have a counter above that, and that's 50. Whoever gets to that mark 50 first wins the game. So in the old games, that counter would count down, and then in the last 5 it would become an execution match, right? So you only had 1 life. You had to get as far as you could with that 1 life. It's not like that in this. You know what I mean? They keep bringing people back. It doesn't matter how far along the game is. I'm impartial to that. It feels more like a Halo match to me.
Yeah, I could definitely understand that. Sounds like fun.
I mean, it's still a lot of fun. It feels good. If you're good at maneuvering and Gears, which I'm personally, that's what I'm really good at in any game. That's what I focus on. If you're really good at maneuvering, then you can really like deke some people. You know what I mean? Like you can really get around people and get away from people. They do have an older map on there. It's called I'm not even gonna mess with names right now. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called Training Grounds or something like that. But anyway, basically you're on a ship, and the cover system's a little bit different, but you know it's a familiar map. So moving forward, there's lots of errors, and they fixed the shotgun problem. The shotgun problem that I'm attesting to is in Gears 2 and 3, when you were playing a game, you'd be running through a game, and then you turn a corner, somebody gauges you, you're dead. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They put 1 shotgun on the map. Everybody else has a loadout. If you die 3 times in a row, it says, hey, we're gonna give you a free weapon. Which of these weapons do you want? And then it'll give you an option on which weapon you can choose. Each weapon you can choose from. Like it gave me a long shot. So like I was just picking people off with that long shot. Like I got like 13 kills with that thing. I got MVP that round because it gave me that sniper rifle. It just changed everything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like there's some real game changers in this, and the fact that not everybody has a shotgun is just so stupid. Like there's an actual dance to the game now. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not just 2 people rolling around with a shotgun, gauging, rolling again, gauging, hitting that melee button, rolling again, gauging. You know what I mean? Like it's just that got old. In this game, they give you a hammer. They give you each character has a loadout, a pre-loadout. So far as I can tell in the beta, those loadouts are set in stone. I don't know if that's That's as far as I can tell. I don't know if anybody's had some experience. If you guys have had an experience, get at me or Irish and let us know. And tell us how to change the loadouts, because I honestly have no idea on how to change the loadouts. So far as I can tell, they're set in stone. But anyway, each character has a loadout, and within that loadout, you have either a hammer burst, or an assault or a lancer, excuse me, a shock grenade or a smoke grenade, or a snub pistol or an auto pistol. Those are the only three things, and they have different combinations within those. And then those loadouts are what you play off of. Then you can go find a shotgun. Then you can go find a long shot. Then you can go find a boom shot. And each map will have different weapons that you can play with, of course. So there's a lot to look forward to as far as that's concerned. But I mean, overall, the game is really beautiful. The game plays well. The multiplayer is impressive. The only thing I would say is there's a lot of errors, and they got to fix those errors so that moving forward, they can facilitate the large amount of players that are coming in.
Yeah.
So, Gears 5 Tech Test is available till Monday, guys. So if you guys are interested, go out there, get Game Pass Ultimate for $1 if you haven't used it. If you have used it, it's $14.99. It's a little spendier, but it's worth it to get Xbox Live Gold and move forward and play Gears 5 Tech Test. It's impressive. It's really good. It made me excited for Gears again. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. I played Forza Horizon 4. I'm having a lot of fun with that game. This is probably the only time you'll hear me talk about a racing game. Initially, I was like, all right, I'm going to play this game. I'm going to play it for the show, just so that I have something new to talk about. So I started playing the game, and very first thing, it's like, welcome to Forza Horizons. Excuse me, guys, sorry. Welcome to Forza Horizons. Just one moment. Hey, I'm on the stream. Moving forward. Oh gosh, I think they lost my dog. This is not a good time. But it is what it is.
Yep.
I played Forza Horizon 4 just to play something, and not a good time. Oh well. I'm gonna just play live on podcast. Immediately they're like, "Hey, welcome to Forza Horizon 4, or welcome to Forza Horizon series," and then it's like, hey, this is the race of the year, blah 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 blah, and then it takes you through the Horizon series, summer, autumn, winter, and spring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so it takes you through the Horizon series. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. Hold on.
Beeper.
I'm streaming. Oh. That was embarrassing. So it takes you through summer, fall, spring, winter, spring. So you go through this, and you just race. You get the best placement you can, and it transitions in each one. You go through and basically play through each season. I'm on autumn right now. I had a lot of fun with this game. I'm gonna continue to play this game. So definitely a lot to look forward to as far as that's concerned. And basically that's it for all that I've played. Moving into Mobile Minute, I played Dr. Mario World. That game is super, super, super fun.
Right?
I have it was.
Which doctor did you choose, out of curiosity?
I chose Bowser.
Heck yeah, that's who I went with.
Yeah, I think it's super cool that you can play with Bowser. It's like Bowser, Peach, and Mario are all in accordance with Asian Mushroom Kingdom.
We missed some stashes.
Go take
Better
down the
turn
Bowsers.
around.
So you play as Bowser or you play as one of the three. I chose Bowser.
Well, and there's tons you can unlock too.
Yeah, dude, there's a ton. The only thing I would say about this game is there's microtransactions. I hate that there's microtransactions. The fact that there's microtransactions is kind of a huge bummer for me, to be entirely honest. But
only because you know you want to buy the crap, and it's hard to keep yourself from doing so.
Yeah, like it's so much money spent. So much money spent. Pokemon Go, dude. Don't even get me started.
Oh god, yeah, dude. Like that's why I do the Google Play rewards, man.
It's a problem.
Yeah, I mean with Google Play rewards, at least you do random surveys here and there, and frickin' get little bits of Google Play money for free built up, and turn around and spend that money on frickin' Google Play stuff instead of money out the pocket.
But I mean, it's free to play, so I mean, I guess, it all balances out. But I mean, you're getting an experience out of it, and the experience is actually a pretty solid experience. It's not like it's a bad experience. You know what I mean? So,
Oh man. Oh.
I guess there's really not a lot more to say about that. Moving forward moving on to news. There's a lot to talk about this week. We have 6 stories to cover. The headline this week is Witcher series nears completion. Series presumably takes place in concurrence with the third, as in, it's based around the third game. Are you gonna watch this?
Oh yeah. You already know. You already know.
I'm on it. Everybody's excited for this.
Well, I mean, when they came out with what was that sci-fi freaking series? They did. It was like had the game to go along with it. God, I downloaded because they're doing another season of it. God.
Another season of what?
There's a game that they've got like a series, a TV series on sci-fi that it runs like alongside the game, pretty much.
Oh wow. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick. Oh, Quantum Break? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
Oh, Stranger Things. That's
No.
what you're talking about.
No.
Oh.
No, this is
I
like
have no
an
idea what
open.
you're talking about then.
It's like an open world gun, like a third-person RPG, but you get guns and frickin' vehicles and. God, what
That's
is it?
insane. I don't know. That's weird. Basically, the series is being compared to Game of Thrones by most people. The showrunner took that as an insult, and they're like, "Hey, look, this show can stand on its own 2 feet. We don't need some other show to be compared to. Like, we're fine." You know what I mean? And she was just very curt about it. She's just like, "No, the show is its own thing." You know what I mean? So, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. So it's going to be.
Well, I mean, like I said, I really like what they did with Defiance, so I'm curious to see what they do with this. Because I mean, with Defiance, they even had it go as in far depth as they'd have in-game competitions.
Right.
And top player, winner of said competition, gets their character added into the TV show.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, they've done shit like that.
That's sick.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cool. It's kind of a payout for a pro deal. That was Lauren Schmidt, and again, she's a showrunner. Almost took it as an insult. Series has all types of gamers. Excited for what might be the very first successful installation of a video game franchise into a series. Who's most excited for this? And I've probably seen The Witcher.
Guess I'm in good company though, huh? After all,
they're gonna be excited for how that shakes out.
My idea, by the way.
So, and I don't know. It's gonna be cool to watch.
Heck yeah. I'm gonna be all over it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because they really haven't done too many adult shows like that from games. I mean, they've done stuff like, you know, Sonic and Mario, a bunch of little kiddie stuff, you know. But Defiance really, like, it was one of the only ones, and that was even different in itself, because Defiance wasn't a game before it was a TV show. It was a game and a TV show kind of at the same time.
At the same time. Yeah. Exactly. No doubt.
So I mean, this is something else all in itself, and you really can't compare that. But based on what we've seen from similar projects, it could have extremely beneficial profits to the owners of said project. That's for damn sure.
Right, for sure. For sure.
Definitely gonna be lucrative, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how all that shakes out.
Well, and I mean, you look at the following you got behind Game of Thrones. As much as she didn't like being compared to it, she's gonna really wish she didn't get burnt about that once she sees how many people want to watch their stuff that are just like fanatics for Game of Thrones. And when you start going and playing with those kind of fanatics,
why would you not just be like, you're comparing my show to Game of Thrones? Wow, that's intense. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I would be. I'd be like,
yeah, but see, humility doesn't get you publicity.
I guess.
Not
right.
Controversy is what gets you publicity, you see.
Right. Oh, we actually only got 5 stories to talk about because I covered Gears 5 already. It exceeded my expectations. This is something you might be interested in, Irish, because I really, honestly, I'm probably gonna wait on one of these. But the Sony CEO says PS5 will prioritize AAA titles. So I guess the very first thing we should cover is a AAA title, and a AAA title is basically anything with a lot of money and clout behind it. So you're talking about Ubisoft, Epic Games, you know,
pretty much anything outside of indie games and underground gaming.
Pretty much. Basically, large teams is what you're talking about.
Corporations.
Indie games are small teams that are building short-sized games. Basically, there's a lot of controversy in the gaming industry about what constitutes an indie game, but I'm telling you right now that indie games are generally small. So that there's pretty much that as far as that's concerned. What do you think about that, Irish? I mean, are you an indie player?
I mean, yes and no. I'm not really as much of an indie player on like my console. You know, I might mess around with some indies on like, you know, mobile or tablet. Yeah. Maybe even the Switch, you know.
What, like Super Mario World? Well, here's the thing. The thing about the Switch, that's kind of the perfect place to have an indie. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the best place to have an indie. And basically, if you're going to put out indies in a situation where people are going to want to play that, then basically they're going to want to play them on the go. They're going to want to you know, play them on road trips. It's going to be geared more towards kids. I mean, I love the Switch, you know what I mean? But I have essentially, you know, 4 games that I play. I have Cuphead, I have Super Mario Odyssey, I have Final Fantasy X. I guess I have 5 games I play. I have Tetris 99, and I have Super Mario Maker 2. which I'll probably end up selling so that I can go get the Spyro Reignited trilogy, as long as it's on the Switch, and I'm pretty sure it is. So, I'm definitely gonna look into that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's a lot
Hey,
to be
what up,
said for a
Akumo?
console.
Sorry
There's a
about
lot
that.
to be said. You're good. There's a lot to be said um for a console that's geared toward indies.
Petra,
But
if you're
what I would
listening
also
to
say
this,
is that there's a lot to be
you
said
killed him.
for a
Maybe the
AAA title
Sogs, in
as
all
well.
their mysterious
So,
wisdom, decided they were sick of
Yeah,
it.
you know, like,
The Queen ordered the hit. I guess I
there's no
understand.
sense in making a
You're a
huge
real
powerhouse of
chivalry.
a game
But
if
it
you're
was
gonna
all for
try
the
and
I'm pissed.
gear it
Just thinking
towards
about that peacock
games
gives
that
me a
don't
headache.
require that
But
powerhouse
I'm
to
betting my
run.
death was another case of your
right,
famous
right.
collateral damage. 'Cause you're a real
And there goes my
do-gooder.
controller.
Which, so, you know, it totally makes sense that they want to make their
But good
main
deeds never
focus
go
on the
unpunished when you're
console
around.
to be towards,
You just,
you know, those
you got a blast
powerhouse
radius.
requiring,
Well,
you know,
it was
yeah,
one more lesson.
resource hogging,
Oh, and tell Paladin
you know,
Orin,
games.
And I'm gonna
if the
tell you right
sun
now,
over
the
Nessus
stronger a game
escapes
that you're running on
Nebula
the
cycle,
Switch,
evac
the more
labor
power it's
after
gonna
dawn
use.
under
I'm getting ready to
solstice.
go on a road
You
trip,
got that,
and
PB?
I will not play Skyrim on that road trip. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's a docked game. I mean, you get maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours out of it, you know, when Skyrim's
Be
running
like trying to play
at
Zelda too.
best.
It's another one.
Yeah, it's just not. Honestly, I'm probably, when the Switch Pro comes out, whatever, the Switch that's targeted more toward gamers comes out, I'll probably sell my Switch and you know, maybe
Are you
transfer
talking
over to.
the Switch Lite, the one that's supposed to be like all one?
No, that's something we should have probably covered too. That thing's out. Did you look into that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are
Oh
pretty
my
cool. They're looking at like it might replace
gosh.
or they're talking like it might replace the freaking 3DS.
3DS, right? The 3DS is dying. That's basically what it comes down to. But here's the thing: if you're gonna put Pokemon Sword and Shield out there, and you're gonna make that like the new game, there was something that was actually reported that was saying, hey, you know, like the Pokemon's not gonna allow other generations into it. Like, you guys, that's a huge mistake. That's a huge misstep. Do it like Alpha Sapphire did. Every time you go back and you get you beat or every time you go back and you beat the Elite Four or whatever, you go back to Professor Oak or Professor Elm, whatever, and
And
you
you get
grab
a starter.
a new Pokemon. Yeah, exactly. You get another series, a Pokemon from the different series, and it goes all the way up to Black and White. Granted, you don't need to go up that far, but like, at least give me the opportunity to get the 3 starters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, I'm gonna end up trading one starter for the next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but if you guys are interested in the Switch Lite, it's out. It's cheaper. I mean, it's definitely cheaper. It's a $150 thing, I think. No, it's a $200 thing.
Yeah, it's like 199, I believe.
Yeah, it's 199, and it's gonna replace, like Irish said, it's gonna replace the 3DS. Basically, they want this to be the catch-all for Nintendo fans, so that's what they're gonna
And you know,
move towards.
from what I was looking at, in comparison to the standard Switch, it looks like it's pretty much the size of the Switch if you were to take one of the controllers off and then just kind
Yeah,
of
that's what they were
envision.
saying. It was a little bit lighter and a little bit smaller.
Yeah, it's like I said, from the measurements I was looking at, it's pretty much about the size of the Switch without one of the controllers, and then just imagine that one controller being kind of moved in and you know, in the proper place,
Right,
and then boom, there you go. The
right.
screen's a little bit smaller. I mean, it's still just the same height. It's just not as wide.
Yeah, yeah.
At least I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It might be shorter. The controllers might be shorter even. I don't know.
I'm just putting stuff in chat, random stuff in chat. Like, what's up, peeps? Shout out to chat.
Try to instigate some
um,
convo.
yeah.
Because like I said, I
Anyway,
still saw 4 on your stream.
yeah, it says I have 5 viewers right now. That's pretty impressive for my first time on Twitch, actually. Actually, I've been on Twitch a couple times, but nothing serious. I'll probably start streaming here if people are gonna start tuning in like this, though.
Like I said, man, the Twitch is pretty solid and consistent, and
No
I
doubt.
you're able to stream at higher higher FPS, and there's
Resolution.
yeah, and well, and on top of all of it, the freaking the servers are more stable. Like
Right.
I've had so many issues, especially when trying to do restream, where
Right.
it'll stream out to everything,
Yeah,
but
dude.
then like hiccup and fail on YouTube, and then I have to sit there and like stop and restart until it finally fucking pulls its head out
That's
and it goes,
irritating.
all right, I'm gonna finally work on YouTube. Damn it.
That's super irritating. Anyway, limited third-party support. So basically, this is saying, we're gonna focus on our AAA games. It's a lot of first-party games. We're not gonna. Basically, the Vita was a powerhouse for bringing indies over to the PlayStation series. You're not gonna see that anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there'll probably never be another system other than the Switch that supports indies currently that 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 the console is made for. You know what I mean? So there's an article on TechRadar.com written by one Nick Pino. States instead of prioritizing indie developers, Sony will instead prioritize marketing for AAA content. So basically, this is saying, hey, our AAA content is going to be made, and they're not wrong. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I worry, with that said, I worry about games as a service being overly, hey, like, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me. You know what I mean? Like, games as a service, stuff like Destiny, and even like some mobile games like Fallout Shelter is certainly games as a service. You know what I mean? Most mobile games are games as a service. That's microtransactions, updating the game on a regular basis. Fortnite, the epitome of games as a service. Apex, epitome of games of a service. Games for a service. And like I worry about AAA content in the next generation pushing that stuff because I can't remember who said it, but somebody said, hey, $60 for a game isn't paying our bills anymore. You know what I mean? We need ways to supplement that income, and one way to do that is DLC. Another way to do that is microtransactions, and that's where EA got into a lot of problems with Battlefront 2. You know what I mean? So
but I guarantee you
it's going to be. It's a great time to be a gamer, but I would say it's also an expensive time in certain cases.
Yeah.
Game Pass probably not so much, but when you get into Stadia, you start talking EA Access, and you gotta start paying your subscriptions on top of paying your game prices. It's getting spendy.
For real though.
So, but it's gonna be interesting to see how all that shakes out as well. So. Moving forward, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 gets a $10 reduction for Prime members already. The article that I read didn't really say why the game was discounted. I'm not quite sure exactly why that happened the way that it did. But basically, it's a #1 seller right now, and it's an odd reduction in the game because it's doing great right now. And the game is just massive. It's huge. And it sold really well. So the fact that it got a price reduction is a little odd to me. It's a little, strange. But if you guys are interested in that, Amazon Prime members get a $10 reduction in that, so be sure to check that out.
Pay for Prime members and Prime Day.
Just wanted to make you feel bad.
Right? Prime Day. Yeah, I was talking about that. Free games for Twitch Prime members as well. Always Twitch Prime. Always Amazon Prime. You get Twitch Prime with Amazon Prime, which I think you also get TV with all that. So
Here's your next hunter lesson.
There's a $15 credit that was being deposited into people's accounts for certain select games. So basically, I don't have the list here. I had it written down, but I lost it before the show. Basically, if you were a part of these select games, you were getting a $15, or if you bought one of these select games, you were getting a $15 credit. Excuse me.
Congratulations, dummy.
You were getting a $15 credit onto your account, and basically, you were getting. Basically, some of these games were cheaper than $15 that they were offering. So they were essentially giving away games and giving away free money. So it was interesting to see how that went. I think it rolls through July 26th, if I'm not mistaken. Again, that's a Prime membership perk. I mean, if you can afford it, probably would be worth going and checking it out. I know they offer trials. I'm not sure how long the trials are, though. So, maybe worth checking out.
I'm imagining.
Are you a Prime member?
I am too.
Nice. Do you get your 2 games a week or whatever from Twitch Prime?
A month, yeah. Plus, there's all kinds of the Prime loot for Twitch.
Right. Is Prime worth it? That's one of the things that I have here. Does this make Amazon or Twitch Prime worth it? Is Twitch Prime money?
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I'm definitely glad that it's included with Amazon Prime, so you pay for your Amazon Prime, and boom, you've automatically got your Twitch Prime.
Right.
Beautiful deal.
And the last story of the week, Stadia is losing hype. Basically the article I was reading said Google Stadia sounds less and less appealing as time goes on. And internet facilitates less gaming than with consoles with larger packets. And basically, one of the things that I had here this week that was actually I wanted to highlight is what that means for Stadia. So when we were talking about Stadia, when we initially reported on Stadia, we said, hey, look, you know, the biggest problem with this service, like the internet's going to be an issue, yes, but the biggest problem with this service is what's going to happen if, you know, the quality dips, you know what I mean? And you're going to lose quality in the game itself. Excuse me, I hear somebody holler.
Gotcha.
Anyway, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so you're gonna get dips in the quality in the game itself. What happens if you disconnect while you're saving and all of a sudden your file gets corrupt? You know what I mean? So, larger files, which means larger data caps. So, like basically one of the highlights of the bombcast at night was the runner of Stadia said, "Hey, the ISPs are gonna have to get in line." It's important to remember that Google has no real answer for the internet caps. Like, they don't really know what to do. They know they got files. That's it. You know what I mean? They have no real answer. They're going to allow people to download to the computers. That's a little bit different. Obviously, the games wouldn't be in a browser at that point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway. But, I think that's going to do it this week, huh?
Yeah, I do believe so.
Alright, awesome. So, guys, if you guys want to ask us some questions, feel free to do so. You guys can do that at Twitter. You guys can get it Irish1620 on Twitter, and then you guys can also follow me at BTGinferno on Twitter as well. So, Irish, why don't you get us out of here? Where can they follow you?
YouTube and Twitter, like he was saying, and Twitch, all Irish1620, and Facebook and Instagram. I am Irish1620.gaming. Also, just created a Patreon recently. If you guys want to go and give that a follow and check, it's Irish1620 as well. And bear with me on that front. It's still in development. I've still got to kind of look around, see how everybody's doing things, and build my own structure.
Do the research, you know?
Yeah.
And then you guys can follow me at BTGinferno on Twitter. Also, you can search Broken Controllers on Facebook. You guys can search BTGinferno on YouTube and watch the videos there. That's where I'm putting my most of my Kingdom Hearts streaming stuff. Gonna be transitioning to Twitch here a little bit more and more. Also, you guys can follow the Discord server. So if you guys want to hop in Discord, just search Broken Controllers on Discord. That's with an S at the end. That's our Discord server. You guys can just join. There's no invite request or anything like that. You guys can just hop in there and start chatting it up if you guys want to do that. So feel free to check that out as well. And then Mixer, BTG_Inferno as well. So that's going to do it this week, guys. I appreciate you guys showing up. Everybody that showed up, thank you so much for the support. You guys are why we do what